What's poppin', everybody? This is Ray Rawlins from the Ray Rawlins Network, and I'm joined by Mr. Alex Payne. We're continuing the 31 days of Halloween cartoons marathon, switching it up with these last 11 episodes of random Halloween cartoons. No more Curious Courage the Cowardly Dog or Sponge. Oh, fuck, The Simpsons. You know me. I'm fucking up the intro, all that shit. I'm thinking of Curious George and SpongeBob, kids shows. But you know what? We're not editing the shit out because we raw and in the cut. So for today's episode, we're reviewing Ed, Edd, and Eddy Special number 3, Boo Haw Haw. That's the name, right? I got it right this
Yeah,
time?
yeah, you got it right. Boo ha ha.
Okay. So, as always, give us an episode breakdown, Mr. Alex Payne.
Well, this episode is pretty much about Eddie, who found a map that his brother left him to Spookyville, which supposedly gives out buckets of candy every year on Halloween. And this is a Halloween episode, if I didn't go without saying. I probably should mention that for semantics sake. And and on their journey, well, before their journey, really, Ed ran a marathon of all his horror movies and sat in front of the TV for hours. I'm assuming in celebration of Halloween. And he watched so much of them until he became, I guess, I don't know, what would be the right word to use that? I don't want to say hypnotized because that's
Brain
too,
dead, I would
well,
say.
yeah, I would say hypnotized because, he's seeing visions and all that other shit. So he starts hallucinating, basically. He starts
Right.
hallucinating and seeing all the neighborhood kids dressed up in their costumes as the literal monsters instead of, people in costumes. And yeah, that's pretty much it. They try to find Spooky Villain Ed. It keeps fucking up the neighborhood children because he thought the Kanka sisters put a curse out on all of them.
Mm.
So
I gotta
yes.
say, first impression wise, because I've never ever watched an episode of Ed, Edd, and Eddy. I watched it and I didn't like this episode to begin with. I rewatched it today and I'm definitely looking at it in a better light. But I don't know, maybe this is just me because like I told you beforehand, I'm not like very familiar with the characters,
Hmm.
but I got a good gist of them to know who they are and know what they do and
Yeah.
whatnot. But it's just like I don't know. I'm not. Spoiler alert. I'm not very enthralled with this episode. It feels very average to me. What about you?
Eh,
What are your first impressions?
My first impression is like this is the first time I watch Ed, Ed, and Eddie in a long time because I used to love some Ed, and Eddie back in the day. Like a really that was a really really great show. And see, the
Uh
thing
huh.
is, it's because shows come in different flavors, and the main thing of this show in general, not just this episode, is like it's very character driven in terms of like the personalities of the characters is what makes it entertaining.
Right.
So I could see what you're saying by as a person who just watching, because I'm sure because I think this was very far into it, which I guess doesn't make a difference, but you're not very familiar with the characters, so you're not really like you wouldn't really understand certain things like they did. Like for example, when Sarah attacked Ed for stealing Jimmy's candy or whatever, you don't know that's Ed's sister, so that you wouldn't make that
Mm.
connection or nothing. So I guess knowing the characters probably would be a big help in a character-driven story. So that's probably why you were kind of lackadaisical towards it, I suppose. But my first impression was like this episode. Um, my first impression is I think this is the most opinions of it decide. I think this is the most Halloween-ish show we reviewed so far, though. Because like there's a very strong
Yeah.
focus on the Halloween aspect, and they had a special intro because they didn't use their regular song. And plus, I think the
Right.
scene when the quote unquote witches, cursed them and put out the spell or whatever, that'd look very cool and awesome. And I guess all the um, I guess horror movie scenes in general did look really cool and Halloweeny and epic, I guess. So I'm guessing my point is
Now,
animation was great.
I could definitely agree on that. Are all three of them brothers, or how is that? Or are they just friends?
No, they're just friends. They all just happen to be named Ed. So there's like Ed is the big dumb one who, well, I guess
Right.
who is the Viking. Double D because his name has two D's in it, but he's named
Double
Ed as
dick.
well. And then Eddie, who's the
I
French Viking.
right. Yeah, yeah. I get. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I thought they were all brothers at first, honestly. But
Nah,
okay. All right. Like I said, I feel that the episode was just very average to begin with. Didn't like it at first, and I was kind of falling asleep during it. It was late as hell when I was watching it the first time, but let's get on the favorite moments. What are some of your favorite moments of this episode?
man, listen, I couldn't tell you how much of these up. Couldn't tell you all the moments that made me laugh in this episode. But I guess the main four, I think it is, I'll mention is the first one is when they was like revealing their costumes and Double D came out and he was trying to tell them that he was the bubonic plague. That whole
Uh huh.
moment was kind of hilarious to me because like how they just stood there in silence and he just kept trying to say it, and
Right.
that kind of made me
See,
laugh.
he's the smart one, isn't he?
Yes,
The bubonic plague guy. And
yeah.
the crazy thing is, I always understood the bubonic plague to be with like the skin gets colored black and whatnot. If I'm correct, I don't know if it's like their skin gets colored black, but I'm like, huh, why is he wearing green? He should be
Well,
like
he was
all
pretending to
black,
be
shouldn't
the
he?
thing. He was the
Ah,
organism that causes it. That's what he was
got you,
trying
got
to
you.
be. Like he was trying to be the actual germ itself.
Ah, I see, I see.
So yeah,
And go ahead.
well, no, you continue.
No, I was just thinking like, obviously the bubonic plague guy is the little smart one, and
Yeah.
then Eddie and the other Ed, I guess, are stupid. You know.
Well, I wouldn't say Eddie is stupid. He's just more of like Eddie is just a big
Immature.
loud. Yes, immature is the perfect word. Ed is stupid. But
Right.
and this the
I
thing.
hate I hate his voice. I hate stupid Ed's voice.
And this the thing. Like if you watched it more, you would understand. But Ed is Patrick done properly. Like nowadays, Patrick done properly. Because even though
Mm.
Ed is dumb as fuck, he is hilarious in his idiocy. Instead, like his stupidness is actually funny instead of just I don't know how to describe it.
Shout out to my big pink homie Patrick Star from SpongeBob SquarePants. That's the homie, yo.
But
But
speaking of Ed,
in
though, my other favorite moment was when he saw. I think I really want to say other. This was Ed. Jimmy was the first one he seen who he thought was an alien, and he freaking
mm,
picked up that sign and beat the ever living fuck out
oh
of him with
yeah.
that sign.
Oh, listen, that dude was not playing. Okay,
The
he
ever
straight up
living fuck out of him with
mollywopped
that
the
sign.
motherfucker.
And another funny moment to me was when he slapped Sarah with the steak. That was funny.
Oh,
And an oddly sexual moment that made me laugh was when friggin' Nas, when Double D bumped into Nas, which is the girl that everyone likes in the neighborhood, just for
mm-hmm.
context. And she's just like he's walking away. She's like, "Wait, do you want a handful of warm, sticky bonbons?" And he's just like, "Excuse
Oh
me."
yeah.
That was that was funny to me. I really want to say there was something else, but I can't really think of it at the moment. But what about you? Any moments that stood out to you, even though you wasn't really a big fan of it in general?
I gotta say the whole warm sticky bun buns comment, or the sugar coated buns, whatever she called them, it's like back in my day, if wait, what was her name? Was her name Sarah? Or,
Nas.
no, that was the other girl, Naz. Okay, I about to say if if some girl asked me that, I'm like, hell yeah.
And then just
But
grabbed them ass cheeks.
straight up, oh God,
So
and you
you
say
gave
you
me
want some sugar
permission.
coated buns, yeah. But I also like the whole bubonic plague moment. Um, the funny thing is, I can really relate to the whole stupid ads. I keep double D ad, whatever the fuck you want to call them. When I was watching the whole Halloween movies and shit, just marathoning that shit. I can
No, yeah, you got it
definitely
right the first time,
relate to
dumb
that shit.
Ed. Because
Yeah.
the first that he's just called Ed, and the small one is called Double D. So like that's
Ah,
how they differentiate him. And then Eddie. So
right. I was pretty. I was picking up on that, but
yeah,
like I love marathon and shit, especially when it comes to Halloween or Christmas time, like special occasions. That's why I want to do this whole 31 days of Halloween cartoons marathon. And depending on how shit goes, we might do something for Christmas too.
yeah.
So that's why I really want to do that shit.
And plus, like that's
Cause
part
like,
of his character too, that he loves like horror movies and stuff. Because there's a lot of other, instances throughout the show and everything of him like
oh okay,
loving and caring about horror movies and horror comics and shit like that.
all right.
Oh,
I gotta
another
say
moment
too,
I
it
just
was
want to say real quick, just to squeeze this in, was when, because Double D was getting very concerned with Ed, and then Eddie was like, "Why don't you just marry him?" And then Ed is like, "I'm already taken, Eddie." That was that was funny to me. And again, that's what I mean. Like that's his with dumbness, but it's actually funny. It's like I'm already taken, Eddie.
I gotta say, what kind of really it didn't suck because it led to a great ending. Um, when they returned, like when they actually got to where they were supposed to be, quote unquote, Spookyville, it was
Yeah.
actually the motherfucking house, and it was like, man, so this whole 30 minutes was a waste, huh? And then, because that's one thing I always hate is like, yo, you're watching this to see them do something. Like their goal was to get to Spookyville, but then they somehow end up back at where they started, the house, and it's like, that's very counterproductive, perhaps. I don't know,
I think that was
but
the
they did.
point to like
No, yeah,
show,
it obviously was,
yeah, Eddie's brother
but
being an asshole.
yeah, and they covered that up good. Like, oh yeah, he tricked you, and then all the neighborhood kids and people were coming after them, and they just beat the ever living hell out of them. And it just it just went off. It was like, yeah, Ed, you can have one of your horror visions now. It'll be a great time. And then they were just getting those just straight up boop 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 boop. They was beating. They was getting their ass beat, boy.
And then Ed was like friggin' he did have one of the vision, except he saw all them dancing with each other and being all cute and everything. It's like
Oh yeah.
Halloween is so sweet. And then continue reading his comic.
I love it. I love it. But I will say this as I'm getting into my final review here. Like I said, the episodes to me felt somewhat average. It really
Hmm.
did, but it wasn't bad. I'll definitely say that. It definitely wasn't bad. Just a big downfall for me, and it's not their mess up. It's my mess up because I don't know the series like that. I don't know the characters like that. Their little quirks and whatnot. But overall, it had a good story. Kind of bogus ending, but the ending made sense nonetheless. And it's kind of good that the neighborhood kids came back, got their revenge. Animation, like you said, was freaking fantastic, honestly. So I think with everything aside, I'm gonna be fair, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. For me, not knowing anything about the show, I did really enjoy it after the second time watching it. Um,
Hmm.
and then like I said, I'm no motherfucking cartoon pundit or whatever the hell. So my opinion obviously shouldn't be taken that damn serious by the one person watching this. But you know what? I still enjoyed the show for what it was, and it did make me want to watch more of the show. Like actually start from episode one and watch it. So I'm definitely putting this on my list of cartoons to watch because this is an all-time classic. Everybody talks about Ed, Edd, and Eddy. I at least heard that
Hmm.
fucking name. I can tell you how many times.
Man,
Um,
I love that was my childhood, man.
oh yeah, like SpongeBob is my childhood, and I try to
Well,
push anime
SpongeBob was my
on
childhood
people.
too.
Oh yeah, SpongeBob is the shit. But I just starting to love cartoons, man. I want to watch more. I want to get into more. That's why these whole segments, the first impressions, these reviews even, are to check out which cartoons that I may like, want to give a complete series watch to. So, but with all that being said, let's get to your review, Alex Payne. What do you think?
Well, the friggin' I think it's a really, really great episode. The sign when Ed fucked up Jimmy with the sign is always hilarious to me. Like even just
Oh
thinking
yeah.
about it, it's like even just the sound and like Double D's and Eddie's reaction, like he just murdered it. Like oh my lord, good gracious! It's like
Man, every time I hear double D's, I think of just big ass breasts. I think of breasts. But continue.
and And his super long, very wordy and sophisticated speech to Eddie about what happened to Ed, and then Eddie just stood there like, okay, so there's candy, right? But
Eddie ain't
anyway,
trying to hear that shit. He want that candy. Eddie ain't trying to hear none of that shit.
because Eddie is the greedy one, dude. That's his main thing. He always trying to scam and get a lot of shit.
Oh yeah. Oh,
But
I fucking hate those people.
but yeah, I'm gonna have to give the episode an 8 just because of how many times it made me laugh and everything. And yeah, I think that's yeah. It made me laugh a lot.
Okay.
I thought it was really enjoyable for me. Even like watching it again, because I watched it twice just like you did. Like even though because the first time I didn't really remember much, so a lot of it was a surprise to me.
Mhm.
But even watching it again, like everything was still funny to me. But yeah, I'll give it an 8.
Okay. It's not too far. Okay, 7.58. I don't know. Maybe I rated it too high or whatnot. I don't know. I'm weird, real weird when it comes to numbers. I wanna do things the way they should be. But you know what? I think that's pretty fair. I give it a 7.5. You give it a nice solid 8. And I think yeah, that's pretty fair. It wasn't bad. It was pretty decent, enjoyable. Even though I don't know much about it, but you know what? I still enjoyed it. So, but there you go. There you guys got it. Ray Rawlins gives it a 7.5. Alex Payne gives it an 8. Y'all know what it is. The 31 Days of Halloween Cartoons Marathon on the Ray Rawlins Network. And that's our review for Ed, Edd, and Eddy Special number 3, Boo Haw 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 Haw. We will continue this Halloween marathon until October 31st, where we put the final episode review in and put it up for you guys to watch it and enjoy. Y'all know who we are, man. Shout out to the one person watching. My name is Ray Rawlins. His is Alex Payne. We'll see you when we see you. Peace.